So, as you guys know, I'm kind of working on my spiritual development and I'm kind of working on talking to my guardian angel and my spirit team and kind of getting a bit more guidance. And what has been really interesting in the last few days is that I've given myself kind of some prompts. I've worked on things to kind of directly ask. And then the first thing I receive is kind of the message that I need to do. Like, it's about building the trust with the messages that you start to receive. So what's really interesting, particularly in the last few days, I've had I had 2 dreams yesterday morning, and the morning before I had 1 dream, very vivid. I was writing them down, working on them. And then it's about how I can feel connection and how I can feel signs and how I can know what this means. And yesterday I said, how can I feel the connection? Like, how can I know that it's for me? What do I need to know to feel connected? And the first thing that popped into my head was to feel what's in your body. And that's a weird thing, because that wouldn't be something that I just come up with, to feel my body. It was just a weird to feel in your body kind of thing. So I wrote that down. And the last 2 days I've had very strange physical sensations, which I don't tend to have. So the day before, I had a dream, I woke up, I was fine. I had a really bad cramp that then just went. And as a woman, you tend to sometimes get these and you just think, okay, it's pre-period stuff, so I'll just ignore that. And then I had really bad fatigue, so it was the entire day. I had coffee, nothing would wake me up. I felt bone tired. I was like, oh no, maybe a flu's coming on. I just felt really exhausted, I just did not have anything in the tank. And then yesterday morning I'd had 2 dreams. I woke up and I felt this wave of nausea, and I didn't feel like I was going to be sick. I just felt ugh, I don't want to eat. It feels intense around my stomach area. I just feel whoa. So that lasted till lunchtime. Again, I had this fatigue that just didn't seem to go. Then I got really bad mid back pain, as if I just, sometimes when you've been at the gym and it feels it wasn't as women, it wasn't a kidney area type of pain. And yeah, I felt really nauseous. I had headaches, and the last 2 days I've just been I just want to go home and crawl into bed. So last night I didn't do anything, and this morning I usually go to the gym, and I thought, I kind of woke up a little bit terrified. I was what is happening next? So I've decided not to go to the gym and just rest and have a productive morning of rest. Because as I was thinking about it, these physical sensations, yes, they can be physical, they can be your health, that's absolutely fine. But spiritually, I was advised to listen to my body, and what it made me think about is that oftentimes we work through burnout, and then what tends to happen is that after burnout is gone and you've kind of gone into a place of recovery, or you have a moment where you feel safe, sometimes your illnesses can come on as a way of saying, right, now we can take our guard down, and actually we've been dealing with a lot. But also sometimes when you're still dealing with a lot, eventually your body also gets to the point where it goes, right, I've had enough. So I have no actual physical illness, but these symptoms feel very nervous system related. And so the spiritual and the physical together, it's kind of talking about when you're used to just keeping going. At the moment, I'm juggling 2 jobs, and my week is a bit scattered, and I'm trying to do the gym, and it's kind of when you're trying to do so many things, using a lot of your own brain power, a lot of stuff. I kind of was reflecting on I'm very good in a push comes to shove kind of way when I have to keep going. But last year, it showed me that is not sustainable for me. And the universe made things happen. Things had to go, because it was almost this isn't a blueprint to aspire to. This is you working overtime. And it almost feels like being told that message, what you're feeling in your body is telling you something. And again, it links to your intuition, which is again something that we always ignore. So last year I'd had extreme burnout with work, just kept ignoring that, and eventually it came to a head. Romantically, I felt in a situationship that I was uncomfortable in, because I wasn't being prioritized, and I wasn't feeling like this was going in a way that I wanted. I suppressed all my feelings about that, and I was like, no, this is what I am working with. It all kind of links as well to your self-worth. Like, you think that working these many hours, working yourself to the ground, being in a hot, cold, inconsistent situation, weirdly, you're telling yourself, that's what I deserve. But deep down, there's something else that you want. So you want more work-life balance, you want more career development, you want a healthy, consistent love. And sometimes the universe is like helping you pull on that intuition that you're ignoring, those feelings of discomfort or those feelings of like extreme exhaustion, fatigue in the body is literally your body saying, this is not sustainable as you're doing it now. And it doesn't dramatically mean hand your notice in or like dump that person tomorrow. It might be like, how do you change this? Something is not working. And I have perfected the art of ignoring that intuitive physical feeling. And then the last 2 days have been really eye-opening, because it's almost as if spirit was like, right, give us the reins and we'll show you how uncomfortable it can feel. Because I have felt physically in a lot of discomfort, and I have quite a high pain threshold, so I just kind of put up with things. And the last 2 days I've felt like a lot of physical waves of, this feels really disgusting. Feels really uncomfortable. I feel really intense. Like yesterday, my back pain, I could not get comfortable. Weirdly, I woke up this morning, it's completely gone. The nausea was horrendous. Like it's almost as if that message was very channeled to me of, this is what will happen, and this is what's happening when you ignore your own self-care. And for me, I have a lot of pressure of wanting to go to the gym, wanting to do better at that. And this morning I thought, I feel, as a woman, we go through these cycles very often. Now I feel like, about myself today. I feel like a big heffalump, right? But I'm not going to the gym today because I don't want to push something, because obviously my body is saying, while you think you're recovering, you're not recovering. And I have this thing where I'm trying to do lots of different stuff. I have a brain that is like tab central, right? I love it about me, but it's also like managing that beast is a whole thing, because I'm kind of getting the message that you think you're being productive, like because you're resting, but you're not resting. You're consuming this podcast, you're writing about this, you're thinking about this, you're trying to vision board this. You're not actually resting. So there's a difference between sometimes when you think you're resting and you're not. But yesterday, I just didn't have it in the tank. I just ate a little bit, had a shower. I still didn't feel 100%. And I literally just went to bed. And I've woke up this morning feeling a lot more centered. But I'm also realizing that part of that message was like, these body sensations are when you hit your wall. So it's really, really important that you don't then just go, right, okay, I had like one good night's sleep, let's go back on the horse. And it's quite difficult because we live in this loud, busy, we need everything off you world, and everybody is probably experiencing burnout a lot more commonly than we ever have, or probably as a human being ever should. And my advice would be that there is not really a quick fix. It's in terms of like, you've got to this point of extreme. So it's finding ways for you to release steam, and sometimes it's not always easy, because, you know, you'll look at your week and you're like, oh my God, everything is booked in and I can't find wiggle room. But sometimes it's about listening to your body. So sometimes I play that rule. If I feel like I might be getting ill, I don't go to the gym. I don't push for social invites. I kind of recharge. I'll go have a bath, drink lots of water, like plug a lot of ibuprofen or whatever you need, and a lot of sleep. And I just try and do it that way. And, you know, a lot of times that has been a very successful strategy to kind of stop something progressing. I think what people do is they get these symptoms, they're like, I haven't got time for that, and then it becomes a full-blown chest infection that like takes them out. So I just wanted to remind you that sometimes you might not be spiritual, but like spiritual and emotional and physical body are kind of always talking to each other. And sometimes you are getting signs, not just in synchronicities and in angel numbers, but actually in physical sensations that are trying to communicate with you. and often like pain or discomfort is quite loud. So sometimes when spirit is giving you that, it's like, listen now, okay? Listen to what we're telling you. This doesn't feel comfortable in your body, and you shouldn't be forcing yourself to get to this point. So it's been an interesting reflection, and interestingly, starting this relationship with my spirit guides has not it's not happened as I expected, but this is part of the journey. And like a lot of psychics and mediums and spiritual people will tell you, your relationship to the spirit world is unique, and you will start learning patterns over time of what works. They will communicate with you in a way that is where your natural clairs stem and how you naturally perceive meaning, which is slightly different. Some people have a predilection for numerical data, some people have a predilection for visual imagery. Like, whatever is how you receive is how you'll receive, but it's a lot more subtle, and also it's a two-way streak. They will give you that information, you communicate back to yourself, and you start making meaning over time. But I just thought it was interesting because I would never have been able to predict that they communicated to me through physical sensation. And I think it was a lesson that I need to learn going forward about not pushing to my extreme. So hopefully this might be useful for you guys, if any of this kind of resonates with you.